Hey Facebook. Alright, so like I said, tonight we're going to be talking about hormone balance, and that has to do with a lot of things. So it could be anything from infertility, headaches, hot flashes, painful or heavy PMS, PMS symptoms. All of that applies to what we're going to talk about tonight. And my name's Emily. I'm a healthcare practitioner here at Thrive, and my goal is to help as many people as I can naturally and holistically, so that they can receive the best healthcare that we give here at Thrive. We're very personalized. Everything's individual. So my goal is to help as many people as I can. So we are going to use this little triangle up here for our representation tonight for a lot of things. So it's just very easy to visually see the things that I'm talking about through the triangle. So at the top we have those symptoms I was talking about. So like I said, it can be anything from infertility to severe PMS symptoms. Then down here we have organ dysfunction and then nutritional deficiencies. So when you have nutritional deficiencies, it then leads to organ dysfunction, which then can lead to the symptoms you're experiencing. So for example, let's say for many women in particular, Facebook, we have a very women-dominated audience tonight. Many women in particular, their thyroids are under a lot of stress just from the environment we live in, the foods we eat, different things that come up. So if your thyroid is under stress, and then you, on top of that, are nutritionally deficient in things that the thyroid needs to function right, it's going to then dysfunction, and you're going to get symptoms like heavy PMS or infertility, things like that, if your hormones aren't being produced the right way. So all of this is connected. If you're getting good nutritional adequate in your diet, then your organs are going to function the right way, and then your symptoms are going to start to alleviate. So that's kind of how that works and what we like to use to reference to things, because it's just a nice visual. So for the demo of what we do here, I'm going to have Kirsten come on up. So we use a non-invasive form of muscle testing here to figure out which areas of the body need support and why they're lacking energy and why they do need support. So there's 5 main stressors in our world today. We have immune challenges, we have food sensitivities, metal toxicities, chemical toxicities, and scars on the body can stress out the body as well. There's obviously other ones, but those are the main 5, and those are what most people test for. So for example, if Kirsten is my patient, and I'm muscle testing her, I'm going to have her put her arm out here, and she's standing here under no stress. So when I push on her arm should stay nice and strong. So that's good. So then next, since we're talking about hormones, I'll go ahead and touch her thyroid here. And so if her thyroid is under stress and I push on her arm's going to go weak, and that lets me know that that area needs some attention. Then I would go through my kits and I'd be able to tell, okay, Kirsten, your thyroid is under stress because there's some sort of immune challenge hanging out there that we need to help the body get rid of. So when I push on her arm and the thyroid needs attention, like I said, it goes weak. Then what we do is we take our concentrated nutritional supplements that we use to test, and I'll have her hold it. And let's say this is the supplement in particular that's going to help her thyroid get stronger. When I touch her thyroid and push on her arm would stay strong, letting me know that that strengthens up the thyroid. If I was to take this other supplement that is supposed to help the thyroid, and I touch her thyroid and push on her arm would go weak, because that's not something that's going to help her thyroid in particular. But it may be something that helps mine, but that doesn't mean it's going to help her. So everything is individualized. Then we would do that for the whole body, and we can figure out what areas need attention and support, and then we can let you know, okay, so Kirsten, your thyroid's struggling because you have a sensitivity to cheese. That's something we can give you info about. Then next I'll kind of show, I know it seems a little crazy if you've seen it for the first time, so I'll show exactly what is happening with the body's energies when we're pushing on each other's arms in here. So I have this little tube here, and it has a little lights on the inside, and so when I touch both ends with this little metal wrap around it, it turns on. So that's just my energy coming from one end, circling through my body out through the other. So I'll have you hold that end, and then put your hand flat for me. So when my hand is touching different areas on Kirsten's body and pushing on her arm, I'm able to read what ones stay strong and what ones stay weak through each other's electricity, basically. So when I touch her here, we're completing a circuit, and we're able to light up the tube here. So that's kind of the gist of how our bodies are able to read that. And then also the supplements are in specific clear glass containers so that the energy can easily be read through the body. So like how the sunlight comes through a window, you feel the warmth from the sun. That's exactly like the supplements in the glass bottle have their own energy, and they're going through the glass, and the body's reading that. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll get right into the meat of things here. So I'm going to erase this. We're going to get the bad out of the way first, so we can leave on a good note. All right. My sideways writing is not very good, so forgive me. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about are different foods that can stress out the hormonal system in general. And when I'm talking about the hormonal system, hormonal organs that I could speak about would be like your thyroid, your pituitary, your hypothalamus, your adrenals, your pancreas, and then obviously for females it would be ovaries and uterus, and then for males it would be your prostate. So those are all the main hormonal organs. But fun fact, a lot of your hormones are made in your gut. So your gut is highly correlated with how your hormones are functioning, and if they're functioning well, if they're not functioning well. So the first food I'm going to talk about is soy. So soy is in a lot of things, so it hides like soy lecithin, just plain soy like edamame or something like that, or soybean oil. So those are different forms of soy. Soy is a big filler in foods, so it can easily get put into something just as something to fill the food. Then soy is also a GMO, a high GMO food, so that's about 90% in America is GMO soy. And what I mean by GMO is genetically modified organism, so it's made in a lab. And it actually contains a specific bacteria that helps fight off different things so it can grow the right way. And that bacteria is disturbing hormonally, and it's also disturbing to your gut, just period. So soy is something you really want to avoid, especially if you are experiencing hormonal issues. So soy is also an estrogen booster. So if you're having problems with high estrogen, then that's definitely something I would recommend avoiding. It can do a lot of damage to your thyroid. So soy would be something I would stay away from. So that's like tofu, any soy milk, soybeans, all of that would be something I'd recommend to stay away from. Then next we have sugar. So for women experiencing hot flashes or night sweats, this one is going to benefit you the most. Going through menopause, avoiding sugar is really, really crucial. Even fruit sugar can kind of fill your cup over the edge when you're going through menopause. So that can induce hot flashes. And what you'll learn around here is that sugar does deplete nutrients from the body. So if you're not even getting the nutrients that you are eating, then what happens is your body is going to dysfunction again. We're going to have symptoms from that. So sugar is something that you should definitely work on avoiding or eating less of. I wouldn't recommend getting off sugar right away, like cold turkey, because then you're going to be extra hormonal and it's not going to be good. So if you're going to get off sugar, wean down slowly, and then you'll feel a lot better. And it's also a process for sure. Okay, and then another thing that we want to avoid are foods with glyphosate or Roundup on them, which is a form of a chemical. I'm sure a lot of us have heard that it's kind of a hot topic. So glyphosate / Roundup, Monsanto, all of his food is covered in it. So first of all, it's a cancer-causing chemical, so we want to avoid that. But it's, like I'm saying, it's also, so a lot of people that come in here find out that they have like a gluten or a wheat sensitivity. And that is true, especially in the States, that a lot of our gluten in our wheat is sprayed with glyphosate. So when people go overseas, we're like, eat bread, eat pasta, because over in Europe, they don't have those chemicals that we use here. And so they're able to go over, even with their high gluten and high wheat intolerance, and go over there and eat their bread and pasta. But here, it's a bad idea because it contains those chemicals, and they really disrupt the body. So those are hormone disrupting chemicals is what's happening, and your body's not able to naturally produce what it needs to. Then next we'll talk more about chemicals. So chemicals and metals are a big one when it comes to hormonal disruption, because they're literally inhibiting your body to do what it's supposed to do naturally. Main ones that we see around here are things from food. So you want to make sure that you're looking into organic food, local food if you can, because local is also better because it's raised under the same sunlight that you are in. And then from that, if you actually talk to the farmer, you're able to know if they put anything on their crops and their produce, and you're able to figure that out a little more easily than if you're going to Meijer and it just says organic. Because just because it says organic doesn't necessarily mean there are no pesticides on it. There's just minimal compared to conventional. So from food, we receive herbicides and pesticides, and then pesticides too from the grass. So we want to be careful with that as well. So all those chemicals are going to be disrupting to the natural hormones we have in our bodies. The biggest one we see too are things that we have in our households. So anything like household cleaners, like Clorox and all of those types of things, are highly contaminated with chemicals. And also candles are huge. Candles contain a lot of hormone disrupting chemicals, like Bath and Body Works candles, what I'm talking about. If you make your own candles or you have somebody that makes them, those are more than likely okay. But candles contain a lot. Makeup contains a lot. So you also do have to think about the things you're putting on your body, because that absorbs into your bloodstream and can affect what's going on the inside. Anything topical, like I said, our laundry soap's a big one. So laundry soap contains a lot of EPAs and parabens. So those are two of the top hormone disrupting chemicals that we see women and men dealing with. And then also air fresheners are huge. So the plug-ins that we put into our walls are highly toxic. They just emit really gross chemicals. So there's alternatives for all of that. You can use essential oils. You can get a very clean laundry detergent. Perfumes and stuff, you can get cleaner ones or use essential oils for a nice aroma. And then next, we'll talk about feminine products. So in the U.S., cotton is one of the most highly sprayed crops that there is. So there's more than 1 billion tons of pesticides and herbicides put on cotton every year. So what are our pads and our tampons made out of? Cotton. So that's a huge concern, that we're putting those inside our bodies or right next to openings in our bodies. And then on top of that, a lot of tampons and whatnot are bleach, or they have chloride in them, especially like huge brands like Tampax and Kotex and those types of brands. So those also contain, so like if you're using tampons, you have the applicator that's made of plastic. So I know that's not like in you for the longest time, but they still are putting that in you for a second. And then as well, they actually did a study, and they like took a tampon and put it in a glass of water or whatever, let it do its thing. And when they pulled it out, there was still little pieces of that left in the water. So it's easy for us to believe that if we're putting that in us and then taking it out, that doesn't necessarily mean all of it's coming out when we take that out. So that can lead to things like toxic shock syndrome, or just over time build up those chemicals that are in the tampons and then going inside of you. And then also, they contain a lot of, I'm gonna say this word wrong, I think it's toluene, something, T-O-L-U-E-N-E is in most products, and that is really damaging to your kidneys and to your nervous system. So that's going to be a chemical again. All right, and then we'll talk about birth control. I know it's a sensitive topic, but I want to give you guys information on what it does because it's important. So, birth control is synthetic hormones. So whether it's orally, you're injected with it, it's an IUD, it's a patch, anything like that, all of that is going to be synthetic hormones that you're getting. And it's not based on what you need at all. It's just the standard, this is what we're going to give you, and let's hope it works. Especially IUDs are very, very toxic for the body because they have a little bit of metal on them. So you're putting that into your body along with the hormones you're receiving, a little bit of metal that's just going to sit there. So they can cause things like minor things like headaches, weight gain, depression, yeast infections, and then long term they can actually even cause things like blood clots, strokes, heart attacks, and then your chance of cancer is higher too when you're on some sort of birth control, and that specifically is breast cancer or ovarian or uterus cancer, because what's happening is the synthetic hormones is raising your estrogen levels, which that's what cancer feeds off of, breast cancer in particular. If you have too much estrogen is what's happening. All right, so now that I gave you the bad news, I'll go ahead and go over the good things, what you can do. So, the first thing, you can come in and get checked. To come in and get checked, and we can figure out what organs and areas need support and what is going on, so we can give you more information about that too. If you need to detox chemically or if you have metals happening. A lot of women who suffer from severe heavy flow or cramps actually have a chemical or metal toxicity going on, and your monthly period is a way to get rid of things that your body doesn't have use for. So getting rid of that is a sign of that something probably deeper is going on that your body's really trying to get rid of. So that's a little fact to look into. And to kind of touch on the birth controls again too, especially the ones that take away your monthly cycle are extremely unsafe because it's naturally supposed to happen that way. It is one of the ways that the body does detox each month. So when you don't have a cycle, you're just keeping all of that bent up crap in your body and you're not getting rid of it. Okay, so you can come in and get checked, figure out what's going on, and then the main thing obviously that we preach here is eat a healthy diet. So a healthy diet is key because I kind of talked about already what an unhealthy diet does to your body. So obviously you want to know what the good things are that you need to eat. Okay. So eating a healthy diet is important, and a healthy diet consists of many different foods, food groups, and everything like that. So we have good protein is what you need to focus on, is a huge one. So good protein means that it's hopefully clean, organic, again, local if you can, protein. And then that means if it's organic, there's less things used on the animals when they are being raised, and they're eating better options than, say, if you get something from a mass production farm. That includes things like chicken, beef, lamb, fish, pork. All of those are really good meats, and you want your meats to contain a lot of fat. So when you get chicken, get the chicken thighs with the skin on them. Enjoy the chicken skin. Everybody loves some good chicken skin, right? I do at least. So then you want to get that. You want to get beef that has like 80% lean, 20% fat, because you want that good fat from the grass-fed cow especially, because the grass-fed cows are going to be higher in your good fatty omega acids than a grain-fed cow would be. Then also like fish, you want to get wild-caught fish that are not farm-raised, and they're pumped with chemicals at farms. Make sure they're wild-caught. And then you want to make sure you're getting a good amount of healthy fat. So I know a lot of people are scared of fat, but fat is really good for you. You have to eat healthy fat. It's essential for your body to actually absorb nutrients. So you have what's called a phospholipid bilayer around each of your cells, and it's literally like little gates around your cells. And if you're not getting enough essential fatty acids in your diet, those gates don't open, and then the nutrients can't actually be absorbed, and your body isn't able to do what it's supposed to do with them. So essential fatty acids are really important to get into your diet. You could get those through avocados, nuts and seeds, things like eggs, grass-fed butter. If you tolerate things like yogurt, you can do like a goat or a sheep yogurt. Some people can do regular yogurt, but watch out for the sugar for that. But healthy fat is really important. You can get your cooking fats, so you have olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. All of those are really good. Then next we have some herbs I'll talk about. So adaptogens. So an adaptogen is something that helps you adapt to environmental stress. So a big like buzzwords out there are like turmeric or boswellia, ashwagandha. Those are all really good adaptogen herbs. So they help you adapt to what's going on in your environment and help with stress. So a good thing to do when you're experiencing hormonal imbalance is deal with your stress better. I know that's like so much easier said than done, but stress is important to keep down, because when you have stress, you increase your cortisol levels, which is a hormone, and it's a stress hormone, and then it can make everything else kind of wacky too. So you want to keep your stress low, so participate in things like yoga or meditation, exercise, but don't exercise to the point where it is like too much of a stress on you. Make it enjoyable. You don't have to do 2 hours. Go to the gym for 30 minutes and move. That's a good amount of movement, especially paired with a healthy diet. You're going to see really good results. And then also, like I said, work on reducing stress. And if it's in your lifestyle or your plan and you're on birth control, that'd be something that would be a good idea to look at getting off, obviously with your medical doctor, whoever put you on it. And it'd be something that you wouldn't want to just stop taking cold turkey. Discuss with them a plan for that. And then you could switch out your toxic feminine products. So you could go from things like toxic tampons. If you want, get organic tampons. That's like wouldn't be like the top-notch answer, but if that's something you're used to, switch to organic tampons that don't have the applicator. There's menstrual cups out there that work great. They're made from silicone, so they're not going to be harmful to the body. They actually make underwear now that have like a lining in it, and it's made from organic cotton, and it holds up to 2 tampons worth of blood, so you would be covered for a good amount of time. And they're organic cotton, like I said, so they're good. And then, or just any organic cloth, anything that would be good. And then some things that we have here at the office that help with hormone balance. So personally, coming in, one of my symptoms coming in was I had like the worst cramps during my cycle. It was just horrible. I had to load up on Advil or Tylenol for about 3 days, and then usually a day before, because I knew I'd wake up in the middle of the night just like dying because the cramps would be so bad. And now I'm at the point, I think it's been 10 months since I've been on a program, 10 or 11 months, and I'm at the point where I'm taking 1 Advil in just the first day of my cycle, which is really a huge win for me, because I don't really want to be taking that, honestly, because it does hurt my stomach and my liver. But right now, that's a huge win that I only have to take 1. So things have definitely reduced, because I did have some mental toxicity going on that my body was trying to get rid of. It just couldn't do its job fully. And then I did start drinking, we got an organo coffee in, and it has reishi mushroom in it. And reishi mushroom is very immune boosting, and it's really good for hormones. So what that has helped with is things like acne for me. So since my hormone balance was off, I did have a lot of cycle acne on my chin, and that has helped totally clear my face up. I'll get spots every now and then, like anyone, but for the most part, it's pretty much gone. So that's one of the products we have that is really good. There's different essential oils that are really good for hormone balance. There's things like we actually like just a mix of some certain supplements, and then putting a lemon oil in your water helped us get a patient pregnant, because that's helping for that. don't ask me the science, but it worked. So that helped her get pregnant. And then there's actually like specific hormone boosting ones. So it's like Dragon Time, Endoflex, Fluorescence, and those help with hormonal balance as well. Clary Sage is a good one. Clary Sage is good topically for cramps. Or magnesium oil is really good for cramps topically. Leading up to your cycle, I would put it on like starting a week or 5 days before so that your body can absorb it through that time. And then by the time you get to your cycle, those cramps will be a little bit more alleviated. So magnesium oil. Magnesium is crucial in muscle contraction and muscle relaxation, and that's what is happening to your uterus during that time. It's just contracting and relaxing. So if it's contracting and not able to relax, the magnesium comes in and helps it be able to relax a little more. There's a good brand, I'll tell you for the like underwear, if anyone's interested, it's called Thinx, like think with an X at the end, and they're really a good brand. They have regular or organic ones like I was saying, and then I think that's all mostly what I wanted to cover for different products. All right, Facebook, we're going to sign off. Thanks for coming. Our next lecture is in a couple weeks, and it's going to be on anxiety and depression. Hope to see you there.